Hello and welcome to a new video. Today we're going to take a look again at the Ultra League. Today we're going to take a look at another Pokemon that got buffed. And we're going to take a look at a Pokemon that maybe some people might not really consider too much for their own team, but you should. It's going to be, of course, the Melmetal. Melmetal is a Pokemon that got access to the move Dynamic Punch. You might think, doesn't make sense to run this move even. You have Superpower. Superpower is so strong. Superpower is a fighting type move. Superpower is even cheaper. Why would you go for Dynamic Punch? And I tell you why you want to go for Dynamic Punch after we saw here that our Dusknoir is just definitely better than the opponent's Dusknoir, being able to get a shield advantage and also, yeah, just generally being able to do some nice stuff here. We're going to see already why Dynamic Punch is quite a bit better. Because there are going to be matchups where you want to spam the move, and you can't spam Superpower without debuffing your own attack and your own defense. Dynamic Punch doesn't have a drawback, but Dynamic Punch is one of the strongest moves in the game. It's 90 damage for 45 energy, and that is fantastic. Even without stab on the Melmetal, it still does so much damage, and so we see here already why this is so strong, why this is needed, why Dynamic Punch Melmetal is just busted? I don't know, I wouldn't say it's busted. It's a very strong Pokemon though. Like, I can really recommend you to try out even this team. This team worked out quite well as well, even though it's a bit like, it's not like directly, the team itself isn't unconventional. At the end of the day, like, there is a strategy behind the team. When I build teams, there's always a strategy behind it. I always make myself them like thoughts before I build something. The reason here again is you have the lead of Dusknoir. Dusknoir in theory doesn't have actually an answer. If you have energy on Dusknoir, there's no Pokemon that can take it. The only Pokemon that can resist both Ghost as well as Fighting type moves, which I said at least 20 times in videos already, is going to be the Hisuian Zoroark, which nobody's running. So fantastic about that. But the main benefit is, like, the main weakness basically of your lead is going to be normal type Pokemon, which resist the Ghost type damage in the beginning. You have Dynamic Punch on it for the Melmetal. And Dark type Pokemon, which you have also Dynamic Punch from Melmetal. You also have the weakness to Ghost types, but you're at least neutral against them. You're going to do both super effective damage, which you saw in the beginning as well. But basically, fighting type coverage is fantastic for countering what Ghost types don't want to see. That's why Dynamic Punch on the Dusknoir makes this Pokemon so interesting to run, because it kind of counters its own counters. But also, it goes both ways. Melmetal is mainly going to be weak against those fighting type Pokemon, which you can destroy with the lead. Of course, there are going to be some Pokemon that are just going to be a bit neutral, like the ground type Pokemon that you don't want to see with the Melmetal. We have some coverage on those though, on our Florges here, with the Trailblaze as well as the Chilling Water. Trailblaze Chilling Water is currently not the most common moveset I think on the Florges for the Ultra League, but I like the moveset still quite a bit. I do think that you can go for Moonblast over the Trailblaze if you want to though. Chilling Water is needed, Chilling Water is necessary, and let's take a look here at the fastest battle of this video, because the opponent decides to forfeit already after seeing the Dusknoir, basically. Yeah, basically, if you swap out in a Skeledirge against the Dusknoir, which you just saw there as well, you're actually going to be able to reach your Shadow Punch after you can just go for 5 fast moves, basically. Go for your Shadow Punch and deny the opponent's fast move, because they lose that one turn for swapping out. I can't even talk. Swapping out, which of course is not going to help them. I'm just gonna leave that in. Sorry, like, videos are not perfect. I'm just doing my stuff, you know, on this channel. I'm not trying to be perfect. I'm trying to just have fun with playing Pokemon and hopefully give you some cool team ideas and hopefully maybe entertain you as well at the same time. Anyway, I'm very happy that I can do still what I'm doing here. I said in the last video as well, I'm really enjoying still doing YouTube, of course, in a way smaller sense than I did before, but I think it's a bit more of a healthier way as well for, like, both YouTube as well as for me, so that's kind of cool. And here, we're going to have Melmetal in action again. Melmetal against the opponent's Feraligatr, knocking out one. In comes Virizion, and honestly, I'm alright with that. I'm just going to go straight for the charge move, because I just want damage. That's all I need here. I just want damage. That's all. I don't care about anything else. I just want damage on them. And so, I can go for the Double Iron Bash. Double Iron Bash is mainly here because it's the cheapest move on this Pokemon. I could see a world where you can go for Rock Slide if you want to counter, like, Fire-type Pokemon. That could be the case. Yeah, just generally speaking, Double Iron Bash is just there to be cheap, to be fast, to be there, and here we can catch the move, which just makes it easier for us later on. Leaf Blade comes through against the Florges, and now, like, we can just use shields here, basically. That's kind of what I wanted to do. I kind of want to keep my shields for the Skeledirge matchup, because I know they have 2 charge moves stored, and I will be able to get out of here with a lot of energy, as I can go for the full farm down, and I can go for the Dynamic Punch, which, if you just can get to 1 charge move, Dynamic Punch does quite a bit more damage compared to the Shadow Punch, and we can knock out the opponent's Virizion. Alright, Articuno. This Pokemon, I'm not too sure about. It got Powder Snow as a fast move, which is quite solid. It has Ice Unit. I think it did not get Fly or something as well. I know, like, they buffed Articuno quite significantly only recently-ish, but I'm not too sure to play, like, how to play against this Pokemon. And because I have my Melmetal in the back, which is in general, like, basically the best answer to this Pokemon, I decided to go ahead and stop out of here, trying to maybe align myself later. In comes here the Swampert. They use a shield, which is interesting, and I decided here to go ahead and let the move go. I don't think that was the right decision. I think I could have just shielded there and maybe would have went for another Trailblaze, get rid of the final shield, and then maybe swap out. Because at the end of the day here, it didn't really bring me anywhere with it. It didn't bring me further, it didn't bring me anywhere, like, at all. But yeah, we're gonna try our best here. We're still gonna try to go ahead and go for the Shadow Punch. We get the shield from the Articuno. They kind of want to keep the Articuno alive, which kind of lets me know that they are very likely going to be weak to our lead in the back, which is kind of unfortunate because I didn't really have a choice there than let our lead go down. I'm gonna get energy here now. I'm trying to get energy in order to, yeah, of course, hopefully counter whatever they have in the back. But we are debuffed now, and so I'm stopping out of here. It's going to be the Annihilate, and I make a mistake here. And I will show you where and when. So far, everything is totally fine. The opponent goes for a charge move now. Are they going for a charge move now? Let's see. They're not going for a charge move now. They're going to go for a charge move here. I should have overfarmed. I know that the opponent would get to the move there. They didn't have a lot of energy prior, but I didn't overfarm. I could have stayed in here and get up to 2 charge moves and win guaranteed. Because I could have went up to 2 double Iron Bashes and would have won. Like this, the opponent has another charge move there, and I will lose. I completely threw this battle here. Basically, what I just had to do is stay against the Annihilate, don't throw the last double Iron Bash, get up to 2 double Iron Bashes, and I win guaranteed. And I just didn't do it. And for whatever reason, I'm not too sure, I'm not too aware. It is what it is. But yeah, whatever. Like, honestly, whatever. Like, I can't really change it. Like, I should have played it a little bit better, but I didn't. And that's how it is. Anyway, we're going to say here the Shadow Fortress. Honestly, not too bad for us. I would not say that this is a really bad matchup for us because we are going to be able to outspeed the opponent and we're just constantly debuffing them, and that's kind of nice. And here, maybe I should have went for the Dynamic Punch. I'm not sure if Shadow Punch is going to be enough from this range. The opponent shields anyway, so it doesn't really matter. So I did go for the right play in the end, I guess. And in comes now the Melmetal, where I'm going to go for my Shadow Punch in order to get the shield from the opponent. I'm going to try to get to another one here as well. But the opponent goes for their own charge move first, which is grand. I can shield. I can go for my Shadow Punch. If they're going to shield here again, I could try to swap. I could try to catch. I could do a lot of things. But to let the move go through... Oh, wait. They don't have shields. I don't think they really have a choice of if they want to let the move go through there or not. I can keep a charge move here, though, on my other Pokemon, which is kind of interesting. And the opponent goes for their own charge move here. That's alright. A Phantom comes in. I can go into my Melmetal. And they go for another charge move. I know there's, of course, now the... awkward Pokemon in the back, the Turtonator, which I kind of have to deal with, and in order to deal with it, I'm gonna go for the double Iron Bash here. I need to keep some energy for myself with my Melmetal, and in comes the Turtonator. I am forced to use a shield here. Dragon Claw comes through. I can go for the Dynamic Punch, and now what do I do now? Like, I don't know what I'm gonna do now. Can I still survive another fast move? I'm not too sure. I'm gonna go ahead and swap out onto the Dusknoir here on the CMP tie. The opponent gets their charge move off onto me. That was a perfect play. What just happened here is I went basically for 2 fast moves on my Melmetal, which means that the damage comes onto my Melmetal still, which I survived with 1 HP there. I then swapped out into my Dusknoir, which means we basically know on even turns where both Pokemon can go for the charge move. I know I win CMP tie against the Turtonator, was able to go for the charge move there against the Turtonator, and yeah, was able to win the CMP tie, get the damage on, and still kept enough energy on my Melmetal in order to deal with this Pokemon then later on. This was a perfect play there for me. I really enjoyed this one. I don't know if it was actually necessary at the end, but it was so much fun. I knew immediately what I was doing while battling as well. It was exactly what I intended to do. It was to try to catch the move while winning the CMP tie. That was a very difficult kind of to pull off there as well. So, like, I'm really happy with this play. And we can move on to the next opponent. We're going to have the Corviknight Knight against us here, getting the attack boost. I don't really care too much about it, honestly. I keep my energy because I think the energy could come in clutch later on as well on my Dusknoir. And in comes the Empoleon, so that was definitely the right choice because the Pokemon that is least useful for me is currently on the field. It's going to be the Florges. We have 2 Steel-type Pokemon against me, but you know which Pokemon is really good against 2 Steel-type Pokemon? Dynamic Punch Melmetal. And honestly, I am so happy that Melmetal got this extra move. And while that did kind of seem a little bit insignificant in the beginning to me, I do actually think it kind of changes quite a bit of the dynamic of this Pokemon, and so I'm quite happy about it. Hydro Cannon comes through here from the opponent. We are going to be able to let the next move go through. This is going to be another Hydro Cannon. I can take that easily. In comes the Covenant, and we can just go for the Dynamic Punch spam, knocking out this Pokemon. In comes the Empoleon. We can farm them down. We win with 3 Pokemon and 1 shield. Alright. Typhlosion actually is our kind of ideal lead here. Like, this is where we want to see this Pokemon in the beginning, especially if they give me a free fast move, which they do here. Which means I will definitely do enough damage against the opponent in order to knock them out, but also I would be able to get the shields back here guaranteed from the opponent as well. It's really not a bad matchup for the Dusknoir, as long as they don't play out the 0 shields. Because now I can just go for the full farm now. There's nothing they can do. They try to go for an extra... Oh, they swap out now into the Feraligatr. And this damage here actually is kind of nice as well, I feel like. Because this is going to put them into range for Trail Blaze. But the opponent now has the opportunity to do something interesting. They can go ahead and try to knock me here still. But I will go for the Trail Blaze, knock them out. Okay, they don't want to use their final shield. And they go to the Tinkaton. And I'm not too worried about Tinkaton too much. They are forced to go for a Gigaton Hammer against me still, because at this point I still have enough health in order to survive at Bulldoze guaranteed. And so they go for their charge move. It's going to be the Bulldoze. I easily survive, I knew that already. And they are going to be now in a really awkward position, because the Chilling Water comes in. And they still can't farm me down, and they catch the move onto the Typhlosion, which really doesn't help them, because now the Typhlosion is going to go and use their shield. I should be able to even farm them still with my Dusknoir. I have damage and I have energy here still. I have still my Melmetal, and they have a Tinkaton with a ton of energy. But like, you're missing your shields, man. You're missing your health. What are you trying to achieve here? Well, Bulldoze is gonna get the debuff now. Once I have the Dynamic Punch, and I think Melmetal had enough of this Tinkaton and just destroys it. Gustlord, horrible lead. Great for my backline though, and I will try to get some energy here because it can help me out a little bit later. Because my backline is so good against it, I should be kind of alright. In comes here the Tinkaton. How do we deal with this Pokemon? Again, I do not actually think that this is the worst matchup ever. The reason is, again, because we have the speed advantage, basically. And what I can do here is can actually do something funny. I can use my final Pokemon. I can use Melmetal. What I mean with this is, I hope I can stop out here in time, and I can stop out in time to catch a move that -2 attack. Gigaton Hammer against Melmetal does absolutely nothing, and they go into the Gustlord. But now again, we have the change on the moveset. We have the Dynamic Punch for us, which will allow us now to just easily go ahead and tank those hits, to easily go ahead and, yeah, go for the Dynamic Punch. And this is so much fun now, because this is going to allow us to get the shield from the opponent. In comes now our Florges. And I should have maybe not went for the charge move here, because it's not going to do a lot of damage, and they're very likely going to stop out soon. So like, that was a silly play that doesn't make any sense at all. But whatever. And we're going to be able to now go ahead and just, yeah, try our best here, go for the shield. Gigaton Hammer comes through. And in comes now the Chilling Water, which should knock them out if everything goes by plan, I guess. They're going to, yeah, let this Pokemon go down. And reveal the final Pokemon, which is going to be Clefable. Clefable is going to be, yeah, it's okay. We have double Iron Bash for this Pokemon, which is kind of okay. Which is definitely quite solid for us. But in comes still the Gustlord, and we still have to deal with the Gustlord. And we have to hope that it's going to be a Dragonclaw Gustlord, because otherwise, if it's Sludge, we're going to be in a very tough position, because they're going to knock me out now. So if it's Dragonclaw, we're grand. If it's Sludge, we are... Okay, it's Dragonclaw. I don't know why they go for the Dragonclaw here. It doesn't make sense. Brutal Swing is always going to be the better play here. But I'm not going to argue with them. I'm just going to go ahead and go for my own stuff. I can... Yeah, go ahead, take the Brutal Swing here. We can go for the Chilling Water even against the Clefable, which means I can guarantee survive a hit from the opponent no matter what. I can go into my Dusknoir, I can farm them down. And the best thing here now is that I will be able to go for the Dynamic Punch in order to knock out the Gustlord. And so the weakest Pokemon against Gustlord is going to be able to bring it down. I could have even went for a Shadow Punch, and would have still done enough damage. Alright, we are going to have here now the Licky, we're going to have the Florges coming in, and we are going to be able to now go ahead and take the hit. The Shadow Ball is coming through, it's not going to do that much damage, and in comes the Chilling Water, which we're still going to be able to take as well. This is, or like, The opponent can take the chain water. In comes now the Starmie. And Starmie will not want to take the Trailblaze here. It's a super effective damage. But here's the thing as well. Starmie could be cool fodder for my Melmetal. And so I should have most likely went actually into my lead again. Now thinking about it. Because I very likely get to another move here. If I would have went into Dusknoir, the opponent would have not got to another move. This was a mistake. I didn't need to shield up this move here at all. Yeah, I get energy on my lead, which is fantastic. On my Melmetal, which is fantastic now as well. But I should have just went into my Dusknoir. That was silly. That was really silly. I actually only now realized. I thought I did do the right play while battling. I did do the right play. He actually played so well. I actually played so well. Like, superpower here onto my Ghost type. Go for it, have fun with it. And this was again a CMP tie, so I locked the opponent into this matchup. Like, this was literally as perfect as the one before. I locked the opponent into the matchup, and now it's Melmetal time. And Melmetal had enough. Melmetal just wants to get rid of the opponent, and Melmetal is showcasing that as well. The Dynamic Punch is gonna get a lot of damage onto the opponent's Licky Licky. Not enough to knock them out yet, but it's gonna do some nice super effective damage here. And in comes now a double Iron Bash again, where it showcases why double Iron Bash is quite nice, because you're going to be able to get there super fast. And now, let's see what the opponent has here. The Melma. I have 2 Dynamic Punches stored. Is a Dynamic Punch going to be enough to knock them out? We won't find out with the first one, because I shield the move up, but does the second one just knock them out? Let's find out. Yes, it does. And this is going to be it for this video. Hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, feel free to leave a like, and I will see you then.